Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. It's match preview, Manchester United versus Fulham. Plenty to discuss in today's video. Reds, I want to know your score predictions, starting 11, and anything and everything you want to talk about. So get it in the chat. Excited for this game?
Excited. Everything's to play for here. 3 more points, vital 3 points. And the good thing is, we're back to the traditional 3 o'clock kickoff. So that's good. And I think we'll beat Fulham. I can't see anything else, to be honest. But we've got a lot to play for, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, the fact that it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, that's the biggest smile I've seen all week, possibly.
Yeah, it is. It's what football was growing up on. But, 3 o'clock, it's not going to be easy, but there's some good plus points playing Fulham. A couple of players out. So I expect United to go at it and win it, to be honest. But there's a few disappointing things in this United lineup I'm looking at.
Yeah, you was talking about players out for Fulham. Paulino, their centre midfielder, he's suspended for this one. Big player for them. A player who nearly joined Bayern Munich in the summer.
Yeah, he's out. 10 cards he's got. So he's out for 2 games. So that's a plus point for us, do you know what I mean? And then you've got the experienced Raul Jimenez. He's out, injury. So, they're not going to be right on it. But I expect United really to coast through this game, not go mad at it. I don't expect free-flowing football. I think United will just go through it, and I think we'll come out with a 2-0 win. But we have got problems. So that's why I'm not overconfident with going for a 3-4 scoreline here.
Might change by the end of the video.
One
of the big problems Manchester United have got is Luke Shaw, and he's going to be out until at least the end of the season. How much of a big problem do you see that going forward?
Well, listen, that was a problem when he come off the pitch at Aston Villa at half-time. And to be honest with you, he didn't look good. And then I was surprised again that he was there for the Luton game. Serious problems there. He's had lots of injuries over his career at United, and this could really set him back. Big problems for United, because at the end of the day, who've we got? Lindelof, Amrabat, are they the possibilities there? But then that tells me we've got problems having a left back who don't play left back, and then going forward down there, because the full backs overlap the wingers. And them two ain't going to do that. So that's my issue with the game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see as well with the length of time Luke Shaw is out. Who Erik ten Hag is going to prefer in that left back spot.
Yeah.
Up to now it's been Lindelof. So hopefully on the training pitch going forward, you can start actually using Lindelof and using him in that position in training. So he's a little bit more comfortable than going into the games, because he has looked a little bit unsteady in games, which you can expect really, because it's not his natural position.
No, it's not his natural position. And, don't forget, he's coming back from an injury as well. So is he really up to match fitness? I think he should be there now. I think he will go for Lindelof, to be honest with you. And I think what may happen, I think he'll shake up that centre-half position, because if you look at it, we've got 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm going to throw in something what a lot of people might not appreciate, to be honest with you.
You getting your boots out? Are you going to start?
No, I'm not getting my boots out. I think Willie Kambwala might come in. He played on Monday night for the under-21s. I look at it there and think, listen, the kid can do the job, okay? Varane, can he play 3 games? I look at Maguire, had a ropey game at Luton there. He was doing things there which...
That was Harry Maguire at times, Harry Maguire 2022, some of the mistakes he was making. So he needs to fix himself back up and get ready for this game.
And you've got to look at the 3 games, which is the hardest of the 3. Is it Fulham, Nottingham Forest, and then you've got Manchester City. So people need a rest here in that centre-half position. So I don't think it's too far out the bounds to suggest that he comes in. He played well in the under-21s. They beat a Man City side. So I think he can do the job against Fulham. They haven't got the greatest of attack, like I say. The experienced Raul Jimenez, he's out. So really, I think this is a nice game to bring him in, right, and rest, because they are 2 big games we've got, midweek against Forest and then Manchester City. So that's the suggestion. Whether you agree with me, I'm not too sure. But I think, the reality is some of these centre-halves can't play 3 games in a week.
No, I get what you mean. And there may be some people out there that do agree with you. He didn't look too bad for me. He did start against West Ham away back in December. But for me, I do agree with Varane probably does need that rest.
Yeah.
But I would probably look at it where I start Varane in this game, but then maybe give him a rest in the FA Cup game against Nottingham Forest. Then start with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans in that game against Nottingham Forest. Then Varane's got the week off then until the Sunday to play Manchester City. But, let us know your thoughts and opinions on that.
Yeah, I go the other way round, and I actually think that this really should be an easy 2-win victory. Not too much pressure on United against Fulham. I think Fulham's the weakest game. I think Varane's more needed for that cup game. If you go back years and years ago, Sir Alex Ferguson, it was Nottingham Forest Cup game, what people say saved his life, and then it took United on. This could be the same for Eric Ten Hag, to be honest with you. Forest away, FA Cup, big game, brings back a lot of memories. So I think Varane is more needed for the Nottingham Forest game than the Fulham game. But hey, it's my opinion, it's Kieran's opinion. You let us know what you want. My biggest concern here, and it actually stems from your comments. I've looked at your comments after me after-match review I give, and I went on about Rashford, and I gave him a 7. To be honest with you, I didn't really look at him as intense as I did with other things, what was going, because I'm actually sick to death of targeting Rashford. But your comments made me think. So I looked at him again. And to be honest with you, I gave him a 7. I really should have given him a 5. I thought he was poor.
Yeah.
And I think Eric Ten Hag has looked at it and he's had plenty of time now, Rashford. And I think what may happen, especially with Lindelof playing left back, or Amrabat playing left back, I don't think Rashford will help him. I don't think he'll come back, track back, help out with the tackles and all that. He hasn't been doing it. So I think there might be a big change up here. Rashford out, okay, on the bench. And I think what will happen is Garnacho will play on the left and he'll bring Antony in on the right, because Garnacho does work back, does track back, does tackle, does help the left full back, does help the right back when he's on the right. And Antony does the same thing. He's got the work rate, okay? And against this Fulham side, I think it'll work well. But I do believe that Eric Ten Hag has to now look at Rashford and say, your work rate's not good enough. What you're putting in, the effort, is not good enough. And I think he'll drop him. And I think he deserves to be dropped. But I've got the alternative there.
To be honest with you, I do agree with what you've just said there, to be honest with you, of why you would want to see Rashford dropped on that left-hand side to the bench with Garnacho on the left. I think it does make sense. And I'm sure there's a few people out there who've seen that clip of Rashford of the so-called pressing against Luton when Ross Barkley in the second half was in Manchester United's half, and it was a kind of a gentle jog, to say the least. So I do fully get your point, but also you've got to maybe look at it from Rashford's point of view. He's then not going to be able to create that partnership with his left back, what would normally help out a left forward or the right forward.
Well, if that sounds to me,
in the attacking third as well.
Just sounds to me as though Rashford, that's the type of another excuse Rashford would use. There's no excuse for not working back. There's no excuse for not sweating and running up and down the line and doing the job you're supposed to do. Everyone else is running around doing the job. What happens is Rashford tends to not do his job, right? And it leaves gaps there. So Rashford, to me, I think Eric Ten Hag is thinking about dropping him, because enough is enough as far as I'm concerned, and he needs to be shown. And what you've got to remember is Sir Jim Ratcliffe's now in, okay? Got to play the Man United way, and those who don't want to do what they're supposed to do are out the door. And I think maybe
you're talking about the Manchester United way. A player who's definitely going to be playing the Manchester United way and has got the quality to do so is Kobbie Mainoo. I expect him in the midfield area, but Casemiro, I'm wobbling a little bit on Casemiro recently. I'm thinking, really, does he need a bit of a rest? What's up with him? Some of the tackles he's diving into, he's leaving my heart in my mouth. So
I think what it is, I think he's been left exposed sometimes with his lack of speed.
Do you think he should be? Do you think it's at a point in his career as well? Obviously, as they get older, later on in the careers, that pace goes at half a yard, and he's maybe having to, look at his own game and have to adjust with that, and he's just struggling to adjust with it. Whereas, he's diving into tackles that you probably see back in years gone by at Real Madrid, and more often than not, win them tackles. But it's coming to that age now.
No, I think this has been. He's always done this in his career.
Yeah, but he's got to the point where he's lost that half a yard. And that half a yard in probably professional football means a lot. And he's still diving in for the same situations with the tackles. And he's not winning them.
The speed of the game is catching him out.
Yeah.
You know, we've said it a few times. It's definitely the speed of the game catching it out. But he seems to be like jumping in. And he's got to learn or it's going to have serious consequences. But I don't think he's capable of adjusting his game. He's got his game. That's what he does. I think what needs to happen, he needs a little bit more help. And the understanding he's got with Kobbie Mainoo, as time goes on, I think that will develop more and more. You've got to remember, Kobbie Mainoo and the Casemiro partnership is only in its infancy. And I think there's another year to go for this to continue and get better. So at the end of the day, I think once they get a proper understanding and there's someone else there in midfield, what can help out, is there. Casemiro does a good job. He's got a good vision with that ball and everything. And what you've got to remember is when we get free kicks, he's the danger man for heading it and putting it in the back of the net. So he is needed.
I think he's needed just for his influence as well with what you're saying about Kobbie Mainoo. Behind the scenes on the training field, you know, the influence he'll have over Kobbie Mainoo day to day on the training pitch is invaluable for him and him actually progressing as a footballer.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah,
you would hope you would hope the experienced players, the older players, would be looking at all the younger players, right, and giving them the same encouragement and that. But I don't think that environment's there with them all, to be honest with you. But that will change quickly.
I think with Kobbie Mainoo, he seems more grounded than some of the other footballers there. We obviously remember that interview with Ronaldo when he said, like, there was a lot of players there at United didn't want to learn off the older players or put the extra hours in, extra minutes in training after it's finished, you know, to learn on their own game or produce and get better at their own pitch.
Kobbie's got it. Kobbie's got the balance. He's got the brain, the football brain in that.
Yeah.
But Kobbie's got to work on his speed as well, on his athleticism. That needs to improve. That's one thing I've looked at, and I think he just needs to improve. But time, that will all come. But the club, the way it's going, we're getting the results, and that's all what matters. A lot of people in the comments will be saying, yeah, but we need a style, we need a pattern of play and all that. Listen, we need the results. The 3 points are the most important things, and getting them against Fulham are the most important things. You've seen the West Ham home game, last home game, right? United, there was no style or anything. It was like we was the away side at times. And at the end of the day, scored 3 goals, took the chances, put the ball in the net. That's what you want to see against Fulham. Yeah. Take your chances, get it in.
Erik ten Hag, 4 Premier League games, 4 wins. Rasmus Højlund, 5 goals, 1 assist in 4 games in February. I expect him to maybe get on the score sheet again, Højlund, because he just can't stop scoring. And if we do win this one, there's a big shout for them to win Player of the Month and maybe Manager of the Month as well.
Yeah,
big shout.
There's a big shout, but it's not what we want. It's not what I'm looking forward to. You know, these bigger things here.
Of course, but you've got to have a shout for it.
Yeah, there's got to be a shout. Style of play, I think a lot of people would turn around and sort of criticise the style of play and say you don't deserve nothing. You know, you've been lucky in games. You know what I mean?
But like you say, though, all that matters at the moment is just getting them 3 points.
That's from a United. That's from a United fan's point of view. That's all what matters. The 3 points. To me, the style of play at the moment doesn't really matter. Yeah. Just do the work rate, get the work rate in, and the results will come. And that's what's been happening. The players have been working on the pitch, and I expect that to continue against Fulham. And that's why I expect Rashford not to be playing, because he's not putting the work rate in. He's the weak link. At times, it looks as though we're playing with 10 men. I'm not happy with it. A lot of people out there aren't happy with it. And I think now Erik ten Hag has got to look at it and say, enough's enough.
Yeah, so what's your score predictions going into this one?
2-0.
2-0 Man United.
A solid 2-0, a solid performance. I don't think you'll see a cavalier approach to the game. We've got to look after injuries and make sure players don't overstretch themselves and get into a fighting war. I think 2-0 at half-time, I think that'll do us. And then just like see the game out.
You know, you look at Fulham's away record, they've won 1 Premier League game away from home all season. So I think that benefits us and it's in our favour, that, and especially with the run that we're on. You know, there's a lot of confidence there with the players, but I'm just looking for, like I say, for United to control the game for large parts of this one, instead of the odd 10 minutes or 20 minutes here and there, or just 10 minutes on its own sometimes.
You're looking for exciting football.
Yeah, we're just wanting to see, something that gets us off our seats time and time again throughout the game. And, that's what I'm looking for.
I don't think it's there, though. I honestly don't think it's there.
Yeah.
And that's not me putting a downer on it. I think the priorities are the 3 points, you know what I mean? That's why I'm going for 2-0, and I'd be happy 2-0 at half-time and then just kill the game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Højlund scoring again in this one. I don't know how you
Go on.
back against him, but I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United.
3-1, fair enough. I mean, listen, Fulham will have a go.
Yeah.
They play football and they'll give a good account of themselves. But I think United, the work rate and everything, they'll be too strong for them.
Yeah, look at their left back as well. He can get up and down the pitch. It's someone who, me personally, I'd be looking at in the summer, maybe to bring into the football club and maybe, challenge Luke Shaw on that left-hand side, especially if he's still picking up these injuries. If you look at Luke Shaw over the last 10 seasons at Manchester United, he's averaged 18 games per season. I know he had that big injury layoff, when he got injured against PSV Eindhoven. But, it's not a lot of games when you look at it over 10 seasons. So
players like Luke
his
Shaw
body breaking down, his one occurrence then having a knock-on effect with another occurrence. You look at him this season, he does look ripped and a lot more healthier and fitter than he has done previously. But again, the injuries are affecting him.
The injuries are coming time after time, okay? And I think what will happen, this new regime will be looking at value for money. And Luke Shaw going forward might not fit the bill that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, and all the other people coming in will be looking at. And there might not be value in Luke Shaw going forward, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, still an important player, and it is a big blow missing him until the end of the season, to be honest with you. Let's hope that fitness table gets him sorted out going forward. But who knows? There's a lot of unknowns going forward at Manchester United, especially as we go into the summer. But I'm just going to wrap it up there. Just like to thank everyone for joining us today. If you've enjoyed today's video, just leave a like on the video, help support the channel as well. And we'll be back straight after the game with a match reaction with my dad, Tony, and also Webby. So hopefully we can see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.